Kartik, photography, videography is a very, very creative profession by nature. So, how do you maintain that creativity? What is your inspiration?
Most creative people I know go through a creative block most of the times. Don't just shoot because you're getting paid, shoot because you love to do it.
Photography is what? Is it a talent or it is a skill?
So, yes, it's a mix of both. So, the skill is what you acquire with the instrument you have, the talent is what you see. Even if I try to replicate my own photographs, it may not 100% be the same.
Kartik, when we talk about Indian weddings, these are very complex in nature, So, what are the challenges you face?
Chaos is something which I always want to be a part of, and Indian weddings cannot be done without any chaos.
How a client or a couple decide a good photographer or a good cinematographer for their wedding?
So it's not based on Instagram followers.
So friends, this is Pritesh Lanka. I am a wedding planner. I've been doing weddings from last 15 years. So our motto is to make people happy. And that's the reason I'm in this profession. And this podcast is Aishil Weddings Podcast. We try and get you people from different areas of weddings, different experts of wedding, and ask them the questions which might help you in your wedding or when you're planning the wedding. Hey, hello friends. Today we have Kartik with us.
Hello.
Kartik is a photographer, wedding photographer. He is the person who shoots without the gun, right? Okay. Yes, Kartik. I want to understand why wedding photography, why you got into this, and what is your journey been till now?
So wedding photography, because when I shoot a wedding, I see a lot of range of emotions, like starting from the haldi to the sangeet to the vidai and the wedding day. It's a very varied contrast way of emotions, wherein you get to see all those things, and it is really fun to be on the other side to capture all those little things which are happening in those 2 or 3 days. And people actually trust you and be vulnerable in front of the camera, and that I feel is actually a very difficult process to document, but still we have been doing it, and obviously other photographers as well.
Oh, great. That's a great thing, because I understand wedding is all about emotions. When you say you like to capture the emotions, so obviously I understand wedding is one particular thing where you capture a lot of emotions. So have you been a photographer always, or it is like when you started doing wedding you understood, okay, this is a photography, this is how I capture the emotion more?
So yes, I have been studying photography for a very long time, and it's a funny story that when I got into weddings, I had not attended a single wedding before that, even in my family. So the very first time when I was shooting a wedding was actually one of the first times when I was in a wedding.
Are you married? Are you married?
No, I'm engaged.
So you are engaged.
Yes.
फिर ठीक है.
So when I was shooting the wedding, I was very intrigued by the way people are like behaving and acting. So it was very different for me to experience, and I was very interested by the fact that it's such a joyous occasion and you have people to photograph you. So that was one thing which I really loved, and that is why I kept doing it till now.
Okay, great. And so when you started doing weddings, I know it's a different thing altogether when you do a normal photography and a wedding photography. Because wedding photography requires a lot of other skills,
Yes.
not only then photography, because you need to interact with the couple. You need to have a good communication.
Yeah.
You need to make them comfortable because you are there with them for entire 2 days. So how do you manage that? How do you do all these things?
So yeah, that is a very interesting question, and yes, it is obviously difficult. So when I started out, I just knew about photography and how to capture and have those moments for them. But when you have to direct them, because not everyone is that comfortable in front of the camera, sometimes you have to nudge them in the right direction wherein they feel that comfortable and they can express themselves in front of the camera. And we are obviously the best people who can help them do that. So yes, communication is very important. You need to have a very good chemistry with the couple, so you keep talking to them, to the family, to their friends who actually are there on those 2-3 days, and they also help you out. But it's very important for you to understand what they want.
So when we talk about wedding photography, because when I started my career as a planner almost 15 years back, wedding photography was different.
Yes.
Today it's a different thing altogether.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So what kind of changes or what kind of transition you have seen in your journey of six years?
So yes, the transition has actually been enormous. Wedding photography, as it used to be 10 or 15 years ago, was completely different than it is now. Now it is much more fast paced as things are in our life right now. So it's more of like having instantaneous results. You see all these, so a major impact on today's photography is because of the social media. You have a lot of this Instagram, your Facebook, and all of these social networking sites, which kind of have helped us to like fulfill the requirements faster. So traditionally, when it used to take 2 or 3 months, now it takes about 15 to 20 days or even a month. So that is how, and technology has played a major role in that. We have been like making sure these requirements are fulfilled at such a pace where first looks are a big part, same day edits are a big part. So that happens because we have good technology with us right now, and that is how we can fulfill their requirements.
What is the same day edit concept?
So the same day edit is something which is like, say if you have your haldi in the morning and you have your sangeet in the evening, and obviously for a big sangeet you have a big screen for people to view, like people who are there, they can view it on a bigger screen as well. So before the entry, we kind of just put things together and we try to make a small edit, which is like a minute or two. And we just try to showcase it to the larger audience which is present over there. And it's a very beautiful moment for the couple just to see what they have lived. So that is what it is.
Okay, so you mean to say it is like it is done both the days? Like let's say, for example, if it is a destination wedding of 2 days where you have day one is your mehndi or welcome lunch or something like that,
yes.
Then the sangeet, next day is your haldi, wedding, reception, or these things. So how do you do that?
So particularly if it's a 2-day wedding, say if you start with haldi and sangeet on day one, and you have your wedding in the day 2 in the morning, and you have your followed by reception in the evening. So during the reception, you have a big screen, and that is when we try to just put everything, those 3 functions together, wherein we have all the important glimpses: the bridal entry, the groom's barat, the haldi, the sangeet, the couple dances, and all of those crazy things just put in together like in a minute or 2 video, and we just show it during the reception. So that is how, and the reactions we get from people is something which we really love. It is really, really good. And it actually, like, that's the genuine reaction because they're seeing it for the first time. So that is something which we love to do.
Same day edit. There must be some other concept also which are new. So what are these new trends or new concepts which are prevailing in wedding photography?
So new concepts are like people have been using these fast-paced drones also now for weddings, which is majorly used in Sangeet when there's high energy. You have these lights and you have these effects, sound, like all these effects. You have these flames and confettis and all of that, laser shows and stuff. So that is when we try to use that. And apart from that, so because of how technology has evolved, we are able to like shoot the wedding and upload it at the same time, wherein guests can scan their images and they can get the photos immediately. That is also another thing which has been happening right now. It's just that people just want things right away, when they've experienced it. So that kind of helps us as well.
Okay. So now the major thing which I see, the biggest change what I have seen in these 15 years for me is like now everybody is a photographer. Right. Because earlier I understand, maybe 10 years before, 15 years before, or even 5, 6 years before, only the photographer used to do their job.
Right.
Now, because everybody has a beautiful cameras in their mobile,
Yep.
so everybody is shooting.
Right.
So, what do you have to say about it? Is it a good thing or a bad thing, or I don't know what it is?
It's good and bad both. It's good because people who are present over there can share the images with the couple who they know. And it's bad because what happens is that when you hire a team of professionals, they are there to do that job particularly. And when you have a lot of people obstructing your view, it becomes kind of difficult at times for the photographers to get the shots. So we have faced certain situations where the bride is walking down the aisle and there's someone popping their phone out, and that just ruins the shot. But you can't do anything. So the best way is to get closer than the people holding the phones. That is the best way, because you don't have the time. Indian weddings are very fast paced. You don't get a lot of time to communicate these small details to everyone, and people will not even listen. So it's better to be always in front of the people who are holding the phones. That is the best way to document any wedding. And the more you're closer to the subject is when you are actually in the action area. You get a lot more of the details, you get a lot more of emotions, you get a lot more of the person in the frame. So you try to avoid that as much as you can. But yes, as much as that can be done, I usually ask my couples to communicate well in advance, wherein they can just try to reduce that. Maybe not completely stop it, but you can try to reduce that.
And maybe I can give you a little tip on this, that whenever you are doing this shoot and you want to get rid of this particular situation, communicate with the planner.
Yep.
So whenever we do a wedding, we make sure that our team is there on the eye,
Right.
and we do not allow anybody else than the photographer to take the shoot.
That's beautiful. Actually, that is the perfect way to go about it, because what happens is then everyone is doing their own job, and because they have been assigned a certain task, they can completely, they can fulfill it.
Okay, so what is when we talk about weddings, so wedding in India doesn't start on the day of wedding or a day before or a wedding. It's like it's the preparation which starts months before.
Yep.
And the very important thing, which is now every couple would like to do that, would like to be a part of, that is pre-wedding shoot. So what do you think about this pre-wedding shoot? What is this all about? Do you suggest, do you not suggest, and if you suggest, how one should plan that?
So yes, pre-wedding was actually, when it came, I think it was early 2015 or 16. So when it came, that trend was actually an amazing icebreaker for the couple. Be it arranged marriage or a love marriage, people used to get a chance to connect away from the families, and they used to have a nice time. But over the period now, most weddings we have been shooting are love marriages. So that icebreaker has already, so you don't need that much. There's already a lot of courtship period the couple has gone through. So it's still a nice idea. I mean, you can get a pre-wedding if you are if you want to gift your partner a photo shoot, like something which is just for them. So that is a nice way to do that.
Okay, but people spend a lot of money in pre-wedding shoots. So yeah, if somebody is planning to do that, what is your advice to them?
You should definitely get it done, because it gives you an idea to connect with the photographer as well, and you get to know your angles also. So obviously you may think that's a very weird way of knowing, but if you get a photo shoot before your wedding, you actually know where and how the angles you may look good in. So that is why we recommend a pre-wedding shoot, so that you get a chance to connect with your partner as well, and you get a chance to connect with the photographer who is going to document your wedding.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and when we talk about pre-wedding shooting, there are a lot of destinations which we talk about. We need to do it. Somebody wants to do it at a beach side, somebody wants to do it heritage site, or somebody wants to do it in a jungle.
Yep.
There are many locations.
Yep.
So, what is the best location if I ask you?
So the location, your clothes, and wherever you are is obviously that matters. But for me, it's secondary. What I usually say to my couples is that if you have good chemistry amongst yourselves, any location can be your dream location. It's just that connection needs to be there between the couple, so that it makes our job easier and it makes the photographs and the videos look beautiful. But yes, locations and these outfits are also equally important.
Yeah. So, okay. So I ask you a very direct question.
Yeah.
Like not the open-ended, close-ended question. So, what is that pre-wedding shoot location? A studio or an outdoor location?
I would rather prefer an outdoor location, because then you get to explore. So a particular itinerary where how we plan it is like we start with we start early in the morning, wherein we are driving towards a particular location, and while we are driving we try to shoot somewhere in the greens. So say if we're going to a beach destination, so we try to start early in the morning and then we try to shoot something on the way, and then you reach the location somewhere around like sunset time, and you get to document that area also. And so we stay the night over there, and early morning we do another beach session, and then we are headed back home.
Okay. Now these is a lot of studios which are built for shoots, which are built for pre-wedding shoot, where they give you the ambience
Yes.
the what do you say, the ambience or the infrastructure of being in a particular location, or being in a 2, 3, 4 different locations at one place.
Right.
Like there are places in Mumbai, close to Mumbai,
Right.
Delhi,
Even in Pune now.
even in
Yes.
Delhi and all these things.
So yeah, that is actually a brilliant move that they've done, and it is something which kind of saves you a lot of time, to be honest. But it completely depends on how the couple wants their shoot to be done. Some people prefer to do it in a set where everything has been laid out, the map is laid out, and you just have to keep changing your outfits and you try to shoot. But what happens in an outdoor shoot is that the conditions are not in our control, and that is when you thrive. Basically, what happens is that if a couple is in an uncontrolled atmosphere, I feel they react much better than in a controlled atmosphere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you talk about the controlled or uncontrolled thing, so which is, I feel, the most important thing in any photography is the lighting, right?
Yes.
So how important is the lighting?
It's very important. So when I was learning photography, it was something of a rule that if you can't control light, you're not a photographer, because natural
Control the sun.
you can't control the sun. Sun is one of the most powerful sources of energy, but yes, you can try to make use of the sun with your external lights which you use during the photo shoot. So that is another thing which we try to do, is when most of the times we don't shoot in extreme sun, because the couple is not very used to the fact that it's very hot, and they kind of get drained, and you've been traveling all day. So we try to make it as pleasing and comfortable for them as we can.
Kartik, when we talk about Indian weddings, these are very complex in nature. Many people involved in the process. Many people come on the day of wedding, whom you have not met in the process.
Right.
Okay. And there are many people in the wedding also. So what are the challenges you face in covering the Indian weddings?
So yes, Indian weddings are colorful and they are complex, and there are a lot of things involved and a lot of decision makers involved as well in a wedding. But yes, I think there is also a beauty in that problem, wherein there's chaos, And if you are a wedding photographer or a cinematographer who is more into storytelling, that is your go-to place. You need to be in the chaos to shoot a beautiful story, because chaos is what an Indian wedding is. And out of that, you come with a very beautiful story, and good pictures come out of that. So I think chaos is something which I always want to be a part of, and Indian weddings cannot be done without any chaos.
No, when you talk about Indian wedding cannot be done without kiosk in front of a planner, I would not agree that. But anyways, yes, you mean to say that yes, there are a lot of emotions. There's a lot of things happening at one time.
Correct.
So it is a lot of chaotic sometimes. So how do you handle that, and what kind of challenges you would receive, and how do you handle those?
So the challenges are majorly with the schedule and the timings. So the timings, how we may have decided, will never, Indian weddings never start on time, as you know. So Indian weddings are never on time. So that is one of the things, that is something which, if I had to change, or if I had to tell a wedding planner, I would definitely tell this and that.
That's not in our hand to.
Yes. So that is one of the major challenges we have, because what happens, the team kind of gets a little bored when they're there, like on call time. So we have been called early in the morning, or we are always there like half an hour or 1 hour before the call time. So you want things to start on time because you're just ready. You're just ready and you want to start shooting. The thing is that when you're sitting for a very long time, you actually tend to get a little more bored, and that is when your creativity kind of lowers down as well. So I have spoken to a lot of freelance photographers and a lot of people who I also work with. They're always like, यार आप काम दो, काम के लिए कोई टेंशन नहीं है, बट आप बिठाओ मत. तो क्या हो जाता है ना, आप जब बैठ जाते हो एक जगह पे, तो फिर यू ट्राई टू गेट लाइक बहुत बोर हो जाते हो, एंड देन योर क्रिएटिविटी काइंड ऑफ जस्ट डाइज, and then you are just doing it for the sake of it. So I usually have a very detailed discussion with the couple before, and the wedding planners also, if they're involved. So I try to get a very exact itinerary of how things are planned on that day, so that the team is also there like half an hour or 1 hour before the time, and things are also starting on time. So that is one of the major challenges. Apart from that, another challenges that we have been facing recently is the mobile photography challenge, like we spoke about. Yes. And so people just try to like hog in all the moments in their phone, and we actually, sometimes it gets a little too overwhelming for us also to like ask them politely, like how many times will you say that, like you just sit on the side. And so the no phones fall. So we recently did a wedding where there was no phones allowed. It was a very intimate wedding, and so it was not a celebrity wedding or anything, but they just wanted people to enjoy, like be in the moment, that kind of thing. And it was a very beautiful ceremony, very intimate ceremony, but people were not using their phones. They were just witnessing. No one was gathered in front of the stage to see or to throw flowers or anything. But and we got all the shots, we got beautiful reactions from people. So that is an ideal setup for us. And for you as well, I guess.
Yes. But not every client can do that.
Yes.
But anyways, so one point where I feel sometimes photographers or videographers, when I interacted with them, is one area which is very challenging for them is interacting with the couple, and making them making them comfortable in front of cameras, because many bride or grooms are not very comfortable in front of cameras.
Yes.
So how do you tackle that?
So yes, like I said, we do a lot of unposed photographs. Now, the beauty of unposed photograph is when you know the person. If I don't know you and I'm just coming on your wedding day and I'm just talking to you, you will not understand, and you'll say, what is he trying to do? You want that post because there is no connection. So when we finalize with a couple, like when we're shooting their wedding day, say ideally a couple books us 4 to 5 months before their wedding. So we try to meet them at least twice or thrice, and we're always on Zoom calls with them, so we try to understand what they like and what they don't like. A lot of understanding happens from my team also, wherein we try to get their music taste. So what preferences do they have in terms of photographs? Some of them are more keen on documenting their family side of the families and their friends. So we try to discuss all these things in advance so that we don't stumble on those 2-3 days when we actually have to work. So the very important point here is that to communicate with the couple well in advance. No matter how early or late they book you, you try to communicate with the couple as much as you can so that they feel comfortable in expressing themselves in front of you, because that is the challenge.
And when you say, how early or how late they book you, so what is the ideal time to book a photographer?
So the ideal time for me is 3 to 4 months. Yeah, 3 to 4 months in advance, because some people do it 6 or 8 months also. I have been talking to people who have their wedding in February. But yeah, that's too early. But yeah, 3 to 6 months is an ideal time to book your photographer. You get to know the person also, because like I think we had a conversation, like the photographer, your choreographer and your makeup artist are the people who are going to be with you for a very long time, right? And they are going to be involved, and they would probably know more things about you on those 2 days than your family. So it's like having your own personal assistant for those 2 days. And yeah, so you need to make sure you're with the right person. If you don't feel comfortable in expressing yourself, then maybe you won't bring out your best in front of the camera, and that can hamper your memories in the long run.
Good. Thank you very much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. अगर आपको लगता है कि ये content किसी के लिए important है, please share with them. And in case if you want us to cover a specific topic or content, please comment below. Thank you.